Today we're going to practice reading, so I'll read the story first while you listen and follow with your eyes. Today's story is called How Did Hollywood Get Its Name? The place we now know as Hollywood, the home of the American movie industry, was once a quiet valley of fruit farms. In 1880, Mrs. Horace Wilcox, formerly of Topeka, Kansas, named the valley Hollywood. In years gone by, Spanish missionaries had erected a wooden cross in the mountain pass which led to the valley. The local Indian population called this cross Holywood. Many believe that it was this Indian name which inspired Mrs. Wilcox to call the place Hollywood. Now I'll read the story again, slowly, and I'd like you to read along with me. The place we now know as Hollywood, the home of the American movie industry, was once a quiet valley of fruit farms. In 1880, Mrs. Horace Wilcox, formerly of Topeka, Kansas, named the valley Hollywood. And how did that go? Well, now it's time to try to read the story on your own. How was that? Are you ready to be tested? Let's start with a few questions. Just answer right or wrong. Mrs. Wilcox married a man called Horace. Right. Mrs. Wilcox used to live in Kansas. That was right. Mrs. Wilcox erected a wooden cross. Wrong. Mrs. Wilcox was a Spanish missionary. Well, that was wrong. Mrs. Wilcox called the valley Hollywood. That was right. Now let's try something a little more challenging. I'll read the story again, but I'll leave out some words. You read along with me and try to fill in the missing words just before I say them. The place we now know as Hollywood, the home of the American movie industry, was once a quiet valley of fruit farms. In 1880, Mrs. Horace Wilcox, formerly of Topeka, Kansas, named the valley Hollywood. Well done, I hope. Let's finish with a few words in a speed test. Well, that's all for this lesson. We'll see you again soon.